It's like, oh, that's a bit early.
Yeah.
Scripts writers, what have you got for me? Liverpool versus Arsenal at Anfield.
Can't lie, it
wasn't.
It weren't hitting the way I thought it was gonna hit. I
Man.
thought we were due for like an early season classic.
Yep.
Goals galore.
Yep.
And brother, it felt like the first half was like a corner set piece training session, basically, of Arsenal getting set pieces and then let's see how Liverpool can defend it. But all in all, you always feel like games like this are decided by big moments, by big goals, and that's exactly what we got today. We got a hammer blow delivered in the first, what you would call title race, if you like. And listen, I don't think either team will walk away from this thinking, you know, they deserve to win it. But if you have a moment like that and you have a bit of quality like that in your side, I think you deserve to walk away. And Szoboszlai, who obviously scored it for me, I thought was best player on the park today, and playing in an unfamiliar position at right back as well. I tweeted it out obviously during the game. It's looking like, brother, the Trent replacement was right under their nose the entire time. Free kicks on lock, Martinelli on lock, and I know Trent never used to be able to do that. You see when Eze skipped past him as well, and he got the get back. Trent would have been doing the light jogs, but I thought Szoboszlai today was exemplary, bro. Like he is going to be crucial for them, and they might have found a little new wrinkle. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Playing him at right back, I'll be honest with you. But a game that didn't have much quality, but then had like a top quality moment to kind of decide it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a big moment, especially in the time of the game it came as well. You saw him line up the free kick, and you thought, okay. And it's funny because before the game, you were talking about, you know, before he came Liverpool, swashbuckling, scoring long-range shots and everything. Yeah.
Do you not remember that, though? Like, when he was in the Bundesliga for RB Leipzig before he signed, what was it, 70 million he got signed for?
Yeah.
You thought, yo, this guy's going to come in scoring 40-yard screams. And to be fair, every time he goes on an international break with Hungary, you see one. And I'm like, hey, when are we going to get one of these at Anfield in Liverpool or something? And he waited for Arsenal to come into town, and he said, you know what, brother? Let me put something at the top shelf right now. So fair play to him. What a goal.
It's early on in the season, but, you know, it's a big moment. Liverpool have now gone 3 games back-to-back with dubs. Of course, it ends Arsenal's unbeaten record against Big Six sides. I think it's 22 games. Big Six sides.
They used to flex that every 2 months on social media, I remember.
So that's the end of that record. Cam, I guess from your perspective, knowing what this game could have been, like obviously it's too early for title talk and everything. What's your key takeaway from this game from what you saw?
I mean, it's 2 teams that I feel like didn't want to overcommit. You know what I mean? But in terms of a takeaway, I think it's too early. I think the one thing that you maybe would take away from it is that that's what champions do. You know, champions don't always play well, but they find a way of getting a result. And you can probably say in most of Liverpool's games this season so far, we're saying the same thing, you know, like they just got the result against Bournemouth, against Newcastle, and now against Arsenal. But that's 9 points on the board.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing you've got to praise them for, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, some teams might have just walked away with a draw. Now, Szoboszlai, that's just the case of individual quality. But at some points in the season, you're always going to need that. Usually it might be Mo Salah. He was not on it today. And it's Szoboszlai said, you know what, I'm going to be the one to deliver that moment. So on the other side, when you look at Arsenal, it's still going to be a case of making that attack work. You know what I mean? I think, you know, Noni had flashes, gone past Kirkes a couple of times, but the end product maybe wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
This Martinelli experiment, it's got to end.
What then became clearer for me as the game went on was I feel like there was an opportunity here for Arsenal today. You're looking at Liverpool side that conceded, 2 goals against Bournemouth, 2 goals against Newcastle. Like, they've been conceding goals, 2 goals against Crystal Palace Community Shield. The defence is probably the one part where Liverpool have not looked like they're what they used to. Van Dijk's working overtime. Szoboszlai was great today, but for the lot when he's been starting there initially, it's like, oh, this looks like a thing.
You know,
on the left side,
I will be fair to Kirkes.
Yeah, he was
started off shaky. But he improved as the game went on.
Did.
And it was one of those where in the first half you thought the first couple games, all right, first game you're playing Bournemouth. Yeah. Second game, all right, man, it's looking like a rough start. Yeah. And this game was looking like that. Madueke skipped past him once or twice, and you're thinking, hey, Kirkes.
Yeah.
We were saying, hey man, these guys that get one season and they get the big move, maybe you should have spent a bit more time. But he rose to the occasion in the second half. That's what you need.
But there were moments within that where you looked at Madueke and you thought, if there's a bit more here, there's the opportunity for Arsenal to play against Liverpool. Knowing that backline's had that sort of, Konate's not been at his greatest. He did well today.
Yeah.
It felt like that's an opportunity missed. You're probably, if you watch those last 3 games for Liverpool, most people are probably licking their lips and being like, this is probably the best time to play them
Liverpool.
whilst they're unsettled.
Yeah, I think that's what we know about Noni, though. You know what I mean? We know Noni can take players on. We know Noni can get past players. And as I said, like, there was moments maybe further up the pitch where you thought, okay, Noni's got the better of Kirkes. But then 1v1 moments in the box. We have to give credit to Kirkes there because he got a block. He didn't let him take a couple recoveries. I think the game was a 50-50 game though anyway. Like, I think first half Arsenal were the better team. I think they nullified Liverpool, and actually only thing that was disappointing is that, like, I felt we were watching the game just to see how Liverpool deal with Arsenal set pieces. That's what it kind of felt like. It was just like a watch, like, all right, Declan Rice out swingers. How are Liverpool going to deal with it? They deal with it. That's what it felt like. So it didn't really feel like Arsenal had much in terms of, they didn't create no big chances or anything like that. But I felt like they felt more comfortable at that point. Second half, Liverpool, for me, took control of the game. Again, didn't have many chances, but looked like the team that wanted to win that match. Do you get where I'm coming from? And Arteta did make changes when he brought on Odegaard and Eze, but there was a moment in the game where I just felt like, it felt like both teams were kind of just like, you know what, I'll leave with a draw. And it was a Szoboszlai that said, I've got a different plan. We ain't even with a draw. Do you know what I mean? So when I saw that, I was kind of like, okay, they're just trying to nullify each other. So it was a very 50-50 game. I don't think Arsenal, maybe you can say they should have been more positive at some points.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's much for Arsenal to kind of, this isn't going to like derail anything.
Todd said, I've got something for him. I've got something. But we mentioned the goal. I think we need to stay there for a little bit, because something that we say a lot on this show is X Factor, moments of magic. And that's what that was. Like, it was a great free kick. Up and down, dipped. Raya was at full stretch, couldn't get there.
Special.
Slot prioritises fitness over everything. That's why Maka, Ekitike and Frimpong come off early. Even if it's an important game, think long term.
It's true. Do you remember last season he kept taking Trent off as well, where he's talking about he measures players' fitnesses, and if they're in the red zone, it's time to come off. And Ekitike, I think last week even, he said he was tired. So that's why he brought him off. I know everyone keeps asking, why does he keep bringing Ekitike off? But he knows something we don't.
Do you know what I liked about Ekitike in his first game? He was like, yeah, this is the Premier League. After about 60 minutes, I was cramping the intensity. He was honest about it. He said, listen, this is different from what we were doing over there. So it makes sense.
This is shuttle run football. That's what it is.
Jay says, goals like that show champion status, always find a way to score and win. Standard Arsenal, though, in big games, too defensive will probably be the reason why they don't win the league again. Big up, you lot, top content as per.
Them type of small margins, bro, cost you games.
I'll say this, and not to make it a big thing. I remember when Klopp and City were going at it. And I remember those games against each other, and it's like a 0-0 draw. And I remember that one specifically in that season. It was like, you have to capitalise on those moments, because once that machine gets going, it's hard to cover the ground back. Liverpool have not been at their best 3 for 3. If that keeps going now, of course you have to play them in North London, but it's these games here. Yes, it's not the worst result, but you just don't want to lose. When the opportunity is so big, you don't want to start getting adrift. So the window is not closed.
2 points off Arsenal.